I'm gonna be honest, the scariest part of this book is the terrible cover that it has. It's quite unfortunate. Hi, hello, how are you? I'm Alex. If you're new here, it's lovely to meet you. And if you're coming back, we're best friends now. You know how this goes. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting my channel. I appreciate all of you. I hope you're doing well. And if not, that's totally okay. I totally understand it. It happens to the best of us. And I hope tomorrow is better. I truly do. Life is hard. But since it's October and spooky season, I thought it was high time I recommended some spooky horror books. Now, as a certified scaredy cat, I want to be clear, none of these are too scary because I get scared so easily. And I'm also going to organize them from least scary to scariest, so the spooky factor goes up as we go through the list. A lot of these I think are good for people that are trying to get into the horror genre and they're kind of unsure where to start or unsure if they'll like it at all. The first book I have here is a graphic novel, and it's not scary at all. It is like told in a series of comic vignettes, I guess, and it's Fangs by Sarah Anderson. It's a love story between a goth vampire and a granola werewolf, and it's very cute. It has a lot of really cute artwork and such. Okay. This is what fell out of the book. Okay then, love a good surprise in a library book. Anyway, very cute, has a lot of great artwork, really funny, and I really enjoyed reading this. I think it's like a good place to get in the mood for Halloween month. Then we have another book that's not so much scary, but it does have some spooky elements. And that's The Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson. I love this book. It's so good. It's about a young boy in the 80s, and he starts this ghost club with a couple of his friends with his uncle at the lead. His uncle is like this strange man that owns an occult shop, and he has a weird past, and they hunt ghosts together. It's a really interesting novel in that it's not just ghosts, as in like the things that go bump in the night, but the ghosts of our past and grief and sadness and the things that weigh on us and how we bend truth in order to make our reality survivable, basically. It's very psychological, really good, very Stranger Things vibes. Highly recommend. Then we have a children's book that has been the source of many scares, as far as I remember, ever since I saw the movie as a kid for, I think it was my 13th birthday, and that's Coraline by Neil Gaiman. This is a classic at this point. I don't even know if I need to recommend it because I'm sure so many people have it on their list. If not, they've already read it, but I highly recommend it. It's all about like the distance that children's imaginations will go and how creepy it can get in there. And basically, Coraline is a young girl who has these absentee parents, and they move into this new place, and she finds this other world with the other mother and the other father, and things just seem so glorious with delicious food and wonderful things to do. But things are not what they seem, and things get freaky. So yeah, that's a really good book for this month. Now this next book, I'm gonna be honest, the scariest part of this book is the terrible cover that it has. And that's The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. Love this book, hate this cover. I really hate movie tie-in covers. Like, why? But I did find it in a free little library, so it was free. And I will take what I can get when it comes to books, because books are so expensive. Scary expensive, if you will. This tells the story of a bunch of young people that go to Hill House, which is notorious for its strangeness, let's say. And this psychologist, he's leading a project to see how people are psychologically affected by Hill House and how much of the horrors of this house are just what's in our mind versus what is real. And this is just a very mind-bending story. What's scary about this book is the build-up. It's the wait to see what's going to happen next. It is considered gothic horror, and I would say it's like definitely a psychological horror, especially in that you kind of lose your mind alongside the main character. You start to doubt what you've read, you start to doubt what you understand of these characters and of what's going on, and it's very, very interesting. Me and Sally were running the trick-or-tbr readathon, and this is kind of our unofficial buddy read. So if you'd like to join us this October, we will be rereading Hill House, and we are very excited about it. Then we have a book that I've read fairly recently, and it's kind of a witchy vibe, and that's White is for Wedging by Alexandraramz. This is an excellent book about a house that is more than just a house, it's a character as well, about a strange family. It is very unsettling, and Alexandraramz is really good. Alexandraramz is really good at just like freaking you out and making you be like, okay, I don't understand what's going on anymore. Like, I am scared. And it's a lot about like family legacy and race and our perception of others and of our reality. Really good, really creepy, highly recommend it. Okay, with these last 3 books, we are turning the spook factor up. These are deep psychological thrillers, in my opinion. All of these books made me feel like this GIF while and after I finished reading it, as well as when I think about the book. They are kind of hard to explain what they're about because I didn't know what was going on most of the time, but they are excellent, and I will try to explain. The first book I have here is I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. This was really popular for a time. It still is pretty popular since the Netflix movie came out, and it's basically about this woman who goes on a road trip in the middle of the winter with her brand new boyfriend to meet his family, who lives in this farm in the middle of nowhere. And things are uncomfortable, things are unsettling, things are weird, no one knows what's going on, and no one's having a good time. It's an absolute nightmare of a book. Like, this haunts my dreams. Quite often, I think about this book a lot and about what happened in this book. This story is the kind of story where like everyone who reads it will have a different perception of what it means, of what happened, and of what it represents. And that's why the movie is so interesting, especially when you've read the book, because it's Charlie Kaufman's perspective of this book. It's his understanding of the story and how he grasps the characters and what's going on. Very interesting, very nightmarish. Highly recommend. And then the next book is a book that I love mostly because it is a pink book disguising a gory inside. And that's Bunny by Mona Awad. What happened in this book? I could not tell you. But basically it's like a dark academia vibe. There's this young girl, I forget her name, Samantha. She's an English major, I believe, at this university, and she's kind of a loner. And then she has these girls in her class who call themselves Bunny a lot, so she refers to them as the Bunnies. And they invite her to their smut salon where they share these works that they've written. And a lot of stuff goes on. A lot of stuff goes wrong. I don't want to spoil this book. I feel like this book is great when you have no idea what you're getting into. Just be aware of the trigger warnings in this book. They could be considered spoilers, but I would look into them if you are really sensitive. None of these books have anything like overtly sexual in them, so if that's your trigger warning, don't worry about that. But this one is definitely a weird one, and it can get gross. Now, last but not least is the scariest of them all. Turn the scare factor up high because this book is freaky. And it goes from basically like dark and unsettling to, oh my god, what the hell, I need to burn my eyeballs now. But it is so good. Like, it's so good. And I found it at my local horror bookstore called Little Ghost Books. I will link them down below. They are great. If you are in Toronto, definitely check them out. This book, it's called Tear by Erica McKean. So much going on in this. This is also a nightmare. But basically, it's about this girl, Frances, who she rarely leaves her bedroom. So she's like always locked up in the basement, to the point that sometimes her roommates even forget that she exists. And now it's getting to a place where Frances herself is unsure if she's even real, and things happen. There's like scratching in the walls. There is no, she's like locked in this basement. She can't get out. There's so much. Like, I was kind of left speechless by the end of it. Again, this also gets gory. It gets a little violent near the end of it. There's a bit of body horror near the end of it as well. So if that makes you squeamish, this might not be the book for you. I would consider myself very squeamish. I get uncomfortable very easily. I get scared very easily. I loved this. I thought it was fantastic. I think it's so poetic in the way that it's written. Like, it's incredibly lyrical, but it's horrifying. And I just think it's excellent. I highly recommend it. This is written by a Canadian author, which is pretty cool. I believe she's from British Columbia. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. Anyway, that's it. That's all. I hope you got some good recommendations out of this. I hope it will satisfy your midnight reading binges when you can't quite turn off the lights just yet. And like this video if you like this video. Please subscribe if you would like to see more of my content. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for watching. I just wanted to add at the end of this that I have a GoFundMe. The link is down below. This is to help some family members who are dealing with a really tough time right now in the middle of a medical emergency. So if you could donate, please do. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you can't, but you can share, I would also really appreciate that, just so we can spread the word and get more people aware of this fundraiser. Thank you so much.